Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna show you how to make the most agonizing, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking pain beat you ever heard in your life. Imagine you got a girl that you've been talking to and she like, I'm sorry babe, I can't do this, it's you, it's not me. You know, you smell like onions and I can't deal with this. So then you're like, my heart. And you know, then she dumps you for real. So that's what this beat sounds like. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow my Instagram. Let me know what you want to see next, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Let's get into it. So as of recently, I've been using the Grandeur for my emotional melodies. This one is a very good VSC, I'm not gonna lie. It's out of contact, and I'm literally just using the default preset out of the Grandeur. I think I got this one like a little bit closed, not all the way open, so it's more soft. And then yeah, so here's what the first melody sounds like. Now I know it's cliche and I always say it, but it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Once you break it down, it's gonna be simple. Although I'm using this 7th chord, so basically it's a chord with 4 notes in it. So we've got this one right here, it's an A major 7th chord, or I guess you could say it's a C sharp minor chord over an A, then a B and a G sharp, and then you got an E, F, and a G. So you know, to make something similar, right? All right, let's say we want to start in A minor. So I'm gonna make an A minor chord, and the key to making pain stuff is I think that it's good to make your notes very low so it hits very soft, and then add a note under it so it'd be A over F, and then let's go down maybe to A, and then let's try going down again. And now let's just go back up, so do something like this. Alright, now we got the foundation for the melody. So let's go ahead and do Alt R, randomize the velocities, do Alt S to strum it a little bit. Now let's get some bass notes. Now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna add some chops in the notes to give it a little bit of a underlying melody. Alright, now we can go ahead and add some notes on top of it for a little bit of a top line melody. Alright, boom. So now let's go ahead and bring this up just a little bit. Now see what it sounds like. So it's pretty much like the premise of what I did when making this melody. Like I said, it's just first starting off with the chords, you know, these 7 chords right here. If I was you, I would go ahead and play with your MIDI keyboard so you can like kind of get that more realistic feeling when it comes to playing. So that, and then add in your top line melodies and add in some note chops and all that stuff, and yeah. So for effects, I use this all the time for my pianos. I have an EQ, cut out some of that low boominess, then got some delay, just the default delay, and then some ROM for some reverb. So we're not done yet for the piano. Next, I want to go ahead and add a even more top line melody just to give it some more sauce to it. Usually you be hearing that a lot in pain melodies. So I went back into Contact and I made this melody right here, and I'm not gonna lie, this one I did play out. It took me like probably 20 minutes to get it actually sounding how I want it to sound. I think that's good to start playing out them notes yourself so you can get used to playing your own riffs. So here's what I came up with right here. So really, it's about finding space and pockets that actually put in them riffs, because you don't want to be like just, you know, anywhere and being out of place for real. So now we get into layering, of course. So I went to SRX Orchestra. Not gonna lie, fire VSC for some very nice strings. So we got this natural vin. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna cap to you, bro. But yeah, we got this, and I just copied down the same chords and, you know, did all that good stuff. So we get this right here. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, my computer was over here having orgasm when playing that. That thing was glitching all over the place. So let me go ahead and restart this real quick. Adding strings to melodies is usually going to give it a more emotional feeling, whether it's like a sadder feeling or aggressive feeling or dramatic. You can't go wrong with having strings to your melodies. For that, just surround, just with some reverb. Next, we get some Rhodes, and I'm not gonna lie, usually for Rhodes, I would just copy down the same chords from the melody, but what I did was that I heard some songs where they actually play Rhodes as like a piano, if that makes sense. Like they'll play like little licks with Rhodes. So I'm like, all right, bet, let me try that out. And this is what I came up with. Like I said, same thing with the top line melody. I just played it by ear, so a lot of trial and error with this one. But yeah, here we go. For that one, I got the Chord suitcase preset out of Expand. Very good for doing these kinds of things right here. For effects, I always use a magic switch for some chorus, some delay for some free delay, and some reverb with some ROM. So far, all those together sound like this. I like how both the Rhodes and the top line piano sound both kind of complement each other. They don't really do too much against each other. So now to keep it simple, we're gonna go with some bells out of Expand. I love to use the solo bells, or like either the solo bells or the high bells. I think it's very good bells for emotional stuff. So for this one, I just played down some simple stabs, nothing too serious. But we do got this little lick right here at the end. So this one sound like this. Just a very simple counter melody, just for some ear candy. For that, having a pancake for some panning, then some reverb with some ROM, of course. And as you can probably hear, literally at the end, I'm making this whole little, I think it's called a canon or something like that, or like a theme, like the little da 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 da. To me, it's very ear grabbing, so that's why I wanted to have all the sounds have that little melody right there. So now we layer again. I say, okay, you know what? I think they could sound a little bit fuller. So I want to expand and grab this warmth pad. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely my go-to for making, you know, fuller sounding pads or whatever. So literally just laid out the exact same chords, and we get this right here. It just adds some more thickness and depth and girth to the melody. Now we get a bass out of Contact, and I'm not gonna lie, Scorpio Rickenbacker bass is definitely my go-to. So we got this night session preset, and I let out this melody right here. So for most of it, just keeping it simple, just copying down the same bass notes as the melody, and then after you get down to bass notes, you want to go ahead and add some different stuff to embellish it. So like right here, and right here. Then to make it sound more realistic, you will add stops. So basically, I got this note right here, right? We have an E note, and if you look closely, I have this note right here. Put it on E. So basically, it'll play a note and then stop like this. It's very subtle, but it works for basses though. Then as you can see, we also have that theme right here. So now we get into accents. I'm not gonna lie, accents take your melody from like a 10 to a 10.5. So we got two different guitar accents. We got this right here and this right here. Then we have this accent too. It just adds some emotional content to the melody. And all these right here too, I got added this free kit from the Producer Grind Cadence drum kit. Definitely fire for real. Next, we got some vocals out of the FL Cloud Bank. I'm not gonna lie, vocals are definitely popular in pain beats. Out of vocals, like a electric guitar lead, one of them two, I'm not gonna lie. So we got a delay on 16, so it's gonna like kind of delay a little bit longer. Got an imager to make it sound a little bit wider. Got a pancake for some panning. EQ to make it sound a little bit more like a telephone effect. Then some reverb with some ROM.
Never wanna play the games you play. I always told you please don't do this way. Baby, I still think we'd still fight good, but without you I don't feel myself alive. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. I don't wanna fall in love with my best friend, with this beautiful eyes, with this sweet face.
And when you play with the melody, it's definitely gonna fit in my opinion.
Never wanna play the games you play. I always told you please don't do this way. Baby, I still think we'd still fight good, but without you I don't feel myself alive. Ha 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 ha. I don't wanna fall in love with my best friend, with this beautiful eyes, with this sweet face.
Alright, let's drag this thing again. Let's see what we can make. I'll probably start off with my drum kit so I can show you guys what I got in here. So let's go to snares. Maybe I'll grab a MIDI, see how it sound. I'm not gonna lie, these MIDIs are like a little bit more on the flamboyant side, so it might not fit with this pain one, but let's see. Let's go to basses. Probably a short, powerful bass. Let's copy this 808 and then make it reverse, shorten the length, and then have it reverse down to this back down to this A sharp right here. Hey, I asked my girl this, so I'm gonna ask you guys too. For $1 billion, right? Somebody said that you had to go 3 months with none of your senses, so pretty much you couldn't see, you couldn't taste, you couldn't hear, you couldn't smell, and you can't speak either. All right, what else? You can feel, so because you gotta eat and stuff like that, so you can feel, but you just can't see, hear, smell, or taste, right? So you gotta go like that for 3 months straight, and after that you get $1 billion. Would you do it or nah? I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that I probably go mentally insane after like the first week, so I don't know if I could do it. I'm not gonna cap to you. Alright, so the beat's pretty much done. I just gotta go ahead and mix it and lay it out. So I'm gonna show you what the beat sounds like in 1 second. But before that, thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hope you learned something from it and liked it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next and all that good stuff. Make sure you're drinking your water, and go ahead and get you a smoothie. This thing's busted through. I ain't gonna cap to you. But yeah, not sure if I'll be at 1,000 subscribers by my next video or by this one. I don't even know for real. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see how it is. But if I am, then I'll drop the drum kit my next video. So yeah, that's about it. Peace.